Daniel.
How are we doing?
Doing great. Glad you're here. Thanks for making the time.
No, please.
Yeah, I want to use this opportunity to really get to know you and see where we align.
Perfect.
Yes.
I see this used in the same way. So,
And I've been looking at your website, just really looking at what you do as a real estate. You provide real estate investment, or you help real estate investors, right,
correct.
to invest. And so, how long have you been in business? What got you into it? What excites you about it?
It's a loaded question. Yeah, no. So you had asked the question, what got me into business, or how long have I been doing the business? Um, and the reason I say it's a loaded question is because I own a lot of businesses.
Uh,
Um, the real estate one, or is a not real estate, but real estate advisor is more like how I look at myself. That is probably the youngest of all the businesses. It's only about 6 years old.
mm,
But I have been personally investing in real estate for about 32 years now.
okay.
So it came to a point where I, I don't know how to say this in a way that doesn't sound like I'm boasting about myself, but it is what it is. It's gotten to the point where I have made my money. I have made my next generation's money, and I have made their next generation's money. So I'm in a really good financial position where now I don't have to worry about the day-to-day making of money. I'm more in the position of I'm at the age now where I need to leave legacy, if that
Mm,
makes sense. I need to
mm,
make sure that when my kids think about finances and money and their kids think about it, that they're coming from a good place
mm,
because I did my job to when I got my money to give back. So
mm,
I see I see being able to work with beginning investors and being able to transfer my knowledge to them as kind of my way of giving back and making sure that there are other generations that are able to gain wealth and be able to share with their family because you know, all of their needs that they're trying to fulfill for their family without the finances are never going to get there, right? You can hope and wish and pray as much as you want, but if you don't have the finances, it'll never it'll never reach its point. So yeah, so that's where that came from. But
mm, mm,
it started for me back in university. I
mm,
went to NYU, and while I was going there, I was in a program that was kind of unheard of at the time.
mm.
I studied. My tongue is getting a little fat now. But I studied color science engineering, which is a chemical engineering degree.
Okay.
Right? And when I say that to people, the first thing is, what the heck is color science? So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. Like, what's that?
yeah, and the worst part is it no longer exists today the way it existed
Mm,
as a sub major, the way that it did when I was there in the 90s, um, going to university. But basically, color science is the study of color, of how to reproduce color, whether it's for printing, for lipstick, for paint, for any of those kind of things which are chemically based.
yeah. Okay.
So anytime you run your printer and you got red because
Mhm.
that's the color you chose, you can thank a color scientist, because we were the people who figured out how to do that. And when I was there, a lot of ideas come out because we were at the beginning of the digital movement.
Mm,
So moving from analog printing, where you would go to your printer and say, "Hey, I need, uh, you know, 1,000 business cards," because you couldn't get anything less, because
mm-hmm.
he had to run it on his printing press, which was analog, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Being able to move people from that technology over to the new digital printing technologies where
Mhm.
they could do shorter runs, more profitable, things like that. That was where I grew up, and that was my environment. And
Mm,
in that environment, I made software to help people, to get people trained. I made, well, we had a lot of classes that we would teach all around the world.
okay.
Um, and I started that at NYU. But every time like I would come up with an idea, um, immediately you run into that wall that was, do we have the finances for this? You
Mm.
know, and normally the answer was no. So a lot of ideas that I had to, go away while
Mm.
I started to create some sort of financial background, getting odd jobs at restaurants and um, actually helping because I came from a family that did printing the analog way. I knew how to fix the machine since little.
Okay.
So I would go throughout New York and just, little print shops and help people whenever I needed something printed and they couldn't because their machine was down. I would help them fix it. And little by little, that started to get me enough money where I was able to buy an apartment in New York. And
Mm.
then from there, I started renting out half of my apartment. So I
Wow.
was like, wait, this is pretty cool. And then so as my business started to grow on the digital side, I just kept buying more real estate. And
Mm.
the more real estate I would buy, then the less excuses I would have to be able to do my ideas.
To bring your
Because
ideas to life. Yeah.
exactly, because I would always have a monthly check coming in from every place I rented. I
Mm.
never got into the fix and flip scenarios. I always got into buying something that I could turn to apartments that I could then rent and receive that monthly income.
Okay. So that was
Um,
your strategy at the time. Just get
ex-
one that's ready to rent.
well, not ready to rent. I would buy the whatever was the worst because it was the cheapest thing to be able to buy. But
Uh-huh.
then I would put in my effort, and I had friends that would help me out,
Okay.
and we would all go and fix them as best as we knew how to.
Mm.
Right? I put that in quotes because it wasn't pretty at first.
Yeah.
Uh, but we
Uh-huh.
would do it. We would get rent, and I could start making some really big ideas. And it got to the point where I never missed salary. So once I
Mm.
got to the point where I had enough passive income coming in from my rentals
Mhm.
that I would always have enough for my engineers to make their salary,
Mm.
then my ideas really started going crazy, doing the software, working with huge companies like HP, Kodak, Polaroid, Epson, and so forth, being able to show their new digital technology out to the rest of the world. We would
Mm.
put training programs together for them. And my company went from, I don't know, we were probably doing $250,000 a year with 3 people to
Wow.
doing somewhere around $28 million a year with about 70 people.
Okay.
And then worldwide, like we literally were on every continent and being hosted there by companies like HP and Epson and Canon and Mimaki and all these other companies we started to work with, um, to the point where a software company bought us out.
Mm.
Uh, they ended up paying 5x EBITDA to our company. And then from there again, I just every time I got a chance, it was always somewhere between 20 and 40% would go into buying real estate and would go into
Mm.
buying real estate to the point where when I sold my first company, which was back in 98,
Mm.
um, I could have retired back then, right? But
Right. You chose not to.
yeah, no, I tried to. I actually took like 9 months, started traveling around, but this time not for work, just for myself, trying to
Mm.
figure out where I wanted to live. Ended up living 2 years in Italy, ended up,
Mm.
um, just really traveling the world a little bit better.
Mm.
And it kind of opened my eyes to the fact that I had way too much energy. Yeah, like I always tell people this because it's really weird for me. I don't know how other people see it, but I'm the person who drinks coffee to go to sleep, not to wake up.
Ah,
Because coffee, like it helps to calm me down.
is the other effect on you.
Exactly.
The other effect, the opposite
Yeah.
effect.
Because when I wake up, I am at 100%.
You're ready to go.
Yeah. Um, but anyway, so I got into it. I kept making more software companies, more training companies. I always focused on the training part of things, because I always felt that if I had a chance to be face to face with people, they
Mm-hmm.
would understand what it is that I was trying to sell more,
Mm-hmm.
or what it is that I was trying to teach more, whatever the technology was. And it really worked out for us. Um, from an engineering point of view, the biggest I ever got was 4 offices around the U.S., one in New York, Philadelphia, California, and then Belgium. So in Brussels. So we really started to spread out. And then in the end got bought out by HP back in 2018 was my last big business.
Okay.
And then I came here to Texas. And when I came to Texas, the idea was again to retire. But when you're in your 40s, late 40s, but in your 40s, and you're going out to go play golf, and everyone you're playing against is late 70s, 80s, it reminds you that you're still too young. Yeah.
You have a lot in you.
Yeah. So and I guess I don't have that sensibility of stopping. I mean, my father, I still remember when my father retired from work, which was like 15 years ago. He said, I retired now. And I said, great, you and mom are going to start, traveling, or what are you guys going to do? And he goes, I don't know if I'm going to have that much time. And I go, you're retired. What do you mean? And he said, yeah, I retired. I'm no longer working 80 hours a week. I'm going to work 40. And I was like, that's not really retired. He goes, it is for me. I've been doing 80 hours a week for about 40 years. So
Wow.
yeah. So but I guess I have that same mentality. I can't stop.
Yeah.
So at this point, it was just, how do I build something that is more along the lines of training, but no longer in the printing world. I needed to stop being in the printing world. I had enough. And it had changed so much that I didn't see a place for myself there anymore,
Okay.
because the technology caught up to the training. That makes sense.
Right. Right. So,
Where the technology could train the people themselves, they really didn't need someone like me standing up there and telling them the same thing they could read on their computers. So I just didn't feel like I had a place anymore at that point. But then, in rethinking of myself, real estate, like I said, is something I was doing since 1994
right.
until today. And I have everything from commercial spaces to multifamily, to storage, to RV, to you name it. So I figured it was something that it was easier to now teach, take all of my wins and all of my failures and be able to kind of put that together into an education program, which is what we ended up doing. So now I have that program that basically I run people through 3 steps, which is first to educate them, and they must go through the education if they want to work with me for the rest of it.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's both a help for me and for them. One, because if I'm working with them and they're just going off on their own, then they have no need for me, and it's really a waste of my time and their time. But if
Right.
we've gone through the education system, then they understand where their gaps are, and therefore then we can work better together on the next steps of finding an asset, you know, um, finding or building one, because I also own a construction company. So we put all that together, we help them, we educate them, then we go find the asset, then we go build the asset or put the resources together that they need. And that's been really successful lately. Um, yeah, to the point where I believe we just hit the 250 student mark. Yeah, and yeah, it's been great. It's been great being able to show people that just because you're in one thing, right? Like, yes, your business, I don't know, your business is bookkeeping, or your business is a car wash, or your business is being a painter or whatever. That is one part where you can put in most of your effort. But if you have something that continues to feed you income on the side, then you can do much more and
Yeah.
you can take better risks, right? Because in the end, life is all about risk management, right?
Yeah.
So if you can control the risks, that help you to continue to bring that financial flow, then there is no such thing as I'm in a predicament, or I'm in this, or I'm in that, because you can always financially find your way out of it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we try to train a lot of the business owners that we work with and people that aren't business owners as well. But mainly I try to focus on business owners because I saw how it helped my business
Mm-hmm.
to grow at an exponential rate versus, a linear rate. And because of that, I think there's still a lot of opportunity for other people to do the same thing. And it just, I don't know, for me, it was a much better um, angle, I guess you could call it, to get into the real estate market without thinking about buying, helping people buy their first home or their second home.
Right. So
Like
yeah.
yeah. And I don't have any interest in that. In fact, one of the caveats to enter the program is that you must have already bought your home.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to see that you're ready to invest in yourself.
Right.
You're going to go out and get a multifamily or a duplex or any of those kind of things, commercial space, and you're just going to take that money from whatever you get there and just give it to whoever you're renting to. That
Mhm.
makes 0 cents in my head. So I always, part of the caveat to get the education is you either have to have your own home or your business has to have its own place. One of the two needs to happen.
Yeah, you have to
So
have
that
invested
exactly.
in you.
Yeah, because I had a conversation with my mechanic. I still remember this like it was yesterday because it's still like it haunts me. But I've been in Austin 6 years. He's been my mechanic for 6 years. He's been in the same place all the time. And
Yeah.
in my head, I thought automatically, he owns this flex space that's here.
Okay.
But I was so wrong because
Um,
when I went to talk to him, because he asked me what I did, and I went to talk to him, and I go, "So how long have you owned this?" And he goes, "Owned? No, no, no. I've been running here for 17 years." And I go, "17 years?" He said, "Yes." And I said, "Do you realize that in half that time you could have owned all of this?" And he said, "No, no, no.
you
That's
pretty much
impossible."
pay for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He
It's for
said,
the
"No,
owner.
that's impossible. That guys like me can't do this." And I was like,
Oh,
I said, "How much are you paying for rent?"
my,
He goes, "I'm only paying $9,000 a month." And I go, $9,000, just so you know, even at today's high interest rate, equals a $1.2 million loan.
Right.
And a $1.2 million loan means I could build you on a 1 acre piece of land 15 of these flex spaces, which means you would have 14 renters and you're for free.
Oh.
That's what that equals in my head.
Yeah.
But I don't know why you can't see that. And I said, we need to talk about this a little more because you're making me really sad right now that you've given away so much money just because you think you can't do it.
It's all mindset.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Yeah, it's a
Mind.
complete set. Yeah.
I
But
really thank you so much for sharing this journey because um, just hearing you start from those humble beginnings, right, where you started from, and how you've evolved through the years. And first and foremost, I just want to say you're a visionary. For someone who comes up with the ideas, is somebody who has this vision. He can see things that others don't see.
mhm.
What a unique gift that you have, right? And that you use that gift to the fullest potential for yourself. And what I want to showcase here even is just letting people know that we evolve over time and that we also have to pivot when times change. I love how you said, when you were, just from selling your first company, even with the real estate, like having the real estate on the side and doing it with your friends, and then building that empire as you're then using that to fund all your business ideas, selling those business ideas, knowing when to let go. When you said, oh, with the printing, things had caught up, knowing when to let go, and then pivoting into your expertise where you've had this real estate, you've been doing this for the past 30 some years. And instead of just going with the regular flow of what's going on, you were really thinking about impact and legacy and how can I help people reach financial freedom through this real estate option, which is almost like a passive, in a way, to make passive income to fund your business.
Correct. Yeah.
Did I
That is
summarize
well
that
put.
well?
You summarized that really well. Yeah.
I love the journey. And Gosh, and I see we have about 5 more minutes to go on this call. But I would certainly love to put something on the calendar because you're somebody I actually want to build a relationship with, like meaning getting to know even more. I love the visionary mind. Um, and what I also see is that because you're helping business owners, I too support small business leaders, helping them truly gain strategic vision where their business ought to go. And because a lot of times they're so caught in with just like that example you shared, mindset. And then they're just caught in the day-to-day operations of their business and not thinking about what this business could truly do for them.
Hmm.
Right. And so where I step in is to help that business owner create a strategic plan and keep them accountable to that plan. So I will give them a roadmap and say, okay, this is where you think this is what you really want. And let's explore the potential here. And once we explore it and create a roadmap together, we look at 3, 5 years from now. We also look at the immediate goals for the 12-month period.
Hmm.
Let's make a plan. And so you now have a plan because I find a lot, they're just shooting from the hip.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They shoot from they shoot from where they feel most comfortable. Is I guess where they, yeah. And once they find that comfort spot, they really don't like to move from it. And I was taught since I was little, if you're comfortable, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's time to create some disruptions.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we're not created for comfort, we're created for greatness.
I agree with that statement
Yeah,
wholeheartedly. Yeah.
yeah. That's one of my favorite persons. And so yeah, so I want to see that. I want to explore on how we can partner with the business leaders that you're helping and supporting,
Hmm.
and potentially how maybe I can potentially help them with creating that strategic plan. Like overall, let's look at the strategy of your business. You're supporting them in creating that passive income, and I'm helping them truly look at it strategically and
Right.
looking at their business strategically so that at some point they can pivot if they need to. They don't have to be married to it. A lot of times,
Yeah.
that's also another piece, right?
Yeah.
People hold on to something when it's at that point, maybe it's time to move on, and they hold on to it too long, and it becomes a burden at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I will tell you that I'm sure if you've looked through my website, you'll see I have a resources section, and
Yeah.
in the resources section is Find a Pro. And what I like to do there, again, is as part of giving back, is that, like I tell people, I am not the expert in everything. I am the expert, in real estate. I am the expert in construction. I understand development, but everything else that goes around growing your business, that's not me. So we bring in people to our website. We do social media where we talk about your business as well,
Okay.
so that everyone in my network understands. Well, if I need a financial advisor, who do I go to? If I need a business coach, who do I go to? It's all on my page.
Okay.
So these are people that we have a relationship with, that we build, and it's available to every one of the people I work with.
Hmm.
Um, so obviously, I open that up to you as well because we don't have a business coach as a referral yet.
Okay.
But I do see it as an important role within, within developing your business.
Hmm.
Just like we have business banking people that are coming on board and so
Right.
forth. So I open that to you. If that's something you would like to do as well and be part of our resources, let me know, and
Yeah.
I will tell you what I need from you to make that happen.
Okay. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I absolutely was. It's a resounding yes. I don't see any reason why not to, right? It's a win-win for all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the way that I tell everyone else in my network is that um, it's more than a lead system, because everyone in my network gets introduced to the people that I am teaching personally, so
Mm,
that
mm,
either whether it's during a class or after a class or something like that, where you
mm,
can have real one-to-one talks, making sure that you're developing it forward. And because they're already talking with you, it means they're not looking for someone else to do that for them.
mm.
So it becomes, someone you can work with normally immediately after we have our conversation. So
Okay. Perfect.
yeah.
Wonderful. Let's do this. And what I would love to do with you too is I would love to even walk you through my process so you get a feel for what that looks like.
Hmm.
So what I do usually with any business owner is we go through what we call a 20 half-hour coaching conversation. So this is just really getting to understand your pain points, the gaps, exploring how I could help, really understanding that. And then once I get a glimpse of that, and I'll have you do an assessment, which we call a business growth score assessment. It's all in the idea of helping the business owner really thinking about their business as a business, not as a job.
Right.
And so, and giving them that tool, they do the assessment, a quick assessment, doesn't take about, takes about less than 5 minutes to complete. But they start thinking like that, and like, oh, this helped me think like that. And so we do that. I use that with our conversation. And then after that, we go into what we call a 90-minute strategic business review. And that's where I would help that business owner create that plan. And it's through that conversation, in-depth conversation, we'll also do a more in-depth assessment, to even learn more about their business, learn more about this business as a leader in his business, and the areas in his business that need help,
Mm.
and what their goals are. And then with that information, it allows me to create a roadmap for them, a business, like what you call a strategic plan
Right.
for them. And they can choose to, like I said, they say, okay, I give you the plan, you can try to match to it, but you need accountability to it. Without the accountability, it's just a plan sitting there and you don't do anything with it. So then that's why I say, well, we can do some coaching, one-on-one coaching. You can do group coaching, whichever option fits your schedule. We'll walk with you through, but to walk with you to ensure that you're walking the journey. And we're reassessing every 3 months to see how are you trending with the plan. Do we need to revise, pivot, change, move forward, and just helping them really become business owners.
Right. Focused.
Pivot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it's an investment vehicle that has been around. There is no such thing as a rich person who doesn't own real estate. It just doesn't exist. But there is many things where rich people don't have stocks, you know.
Very true.
So so from that point of view, if your business owners are used to following patterns, then this is one pattern I would really look into, which is there's a reason why every rich person goes into real estate and builds passive income from that real estate. There's a reason why McDonald's, you know, is really not just a hamburger salespeople. They're the number one real estate company in the world. Walmart, same thing, and all of those people, because they realized that having that brick and mortar asset, that even on downtimes, people need a place to live, or a place to work, or whatever it is. Yeah, it's just not, it's something I would always keep an open mind for it, and don't believe that it's that scary. There's enough of us out here that we can help, guide people through the process. So
Amen to that. Amen. There's so much to even still. There's so much coming to my mind that I want to. I feel like I should ask and talk about and share, but I know that our time has been up a little bit.
just a touch, yeah.
But it's so fun talking with you, Daniel. I'm looking forward really to getting to know you even more. I'm excited for the experience. I love being around visionaries, and someone like you. I feel really grateful for this time together.
Thank you. Thank you, Izzy.
Have a fantastic day, Daniel.
You as well.
Okay, bye-bye.